to use the time-honoured phrase, in the absence of the Archbishop of Canterbury, Glenn Bleach is going to lead off with the first speech.
Right. Right, there'll be no laughing because mine's going to be a very, very short speech. I'm leaving the funny thing to the best man. But really, I just want to thank everybody for being here. It's been tough times, and it's tough for us to be here, but we're here, and it's fantastic, and it's nice to welcome Andrew's family as well. So we're really pleased that we're all here, and everybody looks lovely, and we're in a lovely place. I'm sorry about the cards as well. Right, Andrew. I'd like to thank you, Andrew, for his kind-hearted nature and his calming influence on Lauren. Because we all know what she's like. The first time they came to see us in France, we knew that Andrew was the right one for Lauren. She was, you could see that Lauren was besotted, Andrew was besotted. And it's a bonus that we have a doctor in the house on call 24 hours a day. Right, Lauren. I'm not going to embarrass Lauren. I was going to embarrass her. I was going to say lots about her life, but I'm not going to because it's too emotional. So what I just want to say is that she looks beautiful. And we're so proud of her, really so proud of her, just what she's achieved, how she's turned out as a human being, and her really, and you girls will know, wicked sense of humour. And also she has a strange addiction to Love Island. Anyway, I can't really say much more because I'll be crying very soon. So, if you could raise a glass. Lauren and Andrew.
I suppose it's my turn to speak now. I've prepared a little something. Me and my wife. We're so glad that so many of you could join us. It's been a really tough 18 or so months. And we know it's been really hard for some of you to get here. We weren't quite sure how many people would be able to get here, but this is just the perfect number. We don't need anybody else. I'd like to thank Glenn as well for speaking on behalf of me, on behalf of us. Thank you for giving Lauren away. I know it's difficult for you to get here, but I'm so glad that you and Jane were able to make it. Really glad. Thank you for welcoming me into the family, and despite our distance, I feel very close to you both. Thank you for helping make today possible. We couldn't have had the day we wanted without you. And thank you to Gmar, who's treated me like her grandson, and her and Graham have also helped to make today possible. And thank you to Shelley and to Pick for their support and their planning and being here for us both. I'm really lucky. People often talk about their mother-in-law. They're the butt of the joke, aren't they? But I've got two mothers-in-law, and I wouldn't want anybody else other than either of those two because they're perfect. They really are. Thank you to my parents for bringing me up in such a way that when I met Lauren, I was the sort of person that could love her the way that I do. And thank you for helping sort today out and get everything ready. Thank you to my Auntie Gail, who made the cake that we've not tucked into yet. She's poured her love into every one of them. They're slightly lavender scented, and my Auntie Gail doesn't like lavender. So it may well have been tough for her to do that. And thank you to Josh, who's put the cake stand together with that wood. It's beautiful, isn't it? Thank you to my friend Mort, who, when I moved to Nottingham, together with my other friends from Nottingham, they really welcomed me and made it feel like my home. I wouldn't have stuck around in Nottingham were it not for my friends, and if I hadn't stuck around, I wouldn't have met Lauren. So I owe you all a debt of gratitude. And we're moving to Nottingham soon, so it'll be our home for a long time. And it's very special that Mort, you'll play our dance later this evening. Thank you to Simon and to Mandy at the venue and all the other people that have helped out today. Sophie and Charlotte and everybody. Catherine, sorry. And thank you to my sister. And to my brother for being my best man. Organising the photos out there, it just goes to show what having a pharmacist for a brother. It's not just moving boxes around, he can move people around as well. Lauren and I met when I first started working at the paediatric A&E department. Unfortunately, none of our friends from A&E were invited today, so they can't tell us what either of us were like back then. But I found things very tough in the first month. A new specialty and a new place of work and a new way of working. Lauren was immediately there for me. In fact, she added me on Facebook after our very first conversation and started messaging me straight away. But our love was immediate from then. It grew from that very first moment, and we were always there for one another. In the very first month we were together, Lauren was poorly at work and had to leave, and she didn't go home. She came to my flat, and I looked after her. In fact, I nursed her back to health. We really are the perfect team, and we work together to overcome anything that life throws at us. I love Lauren because of the way she pushes me to be the best of myself. She believed in me to be ready to take my postgraduate exams even when I didn't, but I didn't pass them. We bring out the best of each other, and we give each other the support in the background so we can achieve anything that we want. When I saw you today, I was absolutely lost for words. I didn't know what your dress was going to look like, and it blew my wildest dreams. I didn't even think it would look anywhere near that good. I knew it would look good because it always does when you see your bride walk down the aisle, but I didn't know it would look like that. You look stunning. You look beautiful. I don't know what our future holds. It's been a bit of a rough ride for the past 30 years, but for the 3 years since I met Lauren, have been amazing. And I know whatever the future holds, we'll have the toolkit to overcome it. So I'm going to hand you over to my brother now. He's never been able to tell us apart, and if he gets us muddled up in any of the stories he's about to tell you, it's usually him that's the guilty party, and not me. So please raise a glass to the most beautiful and the luckiest woman in the room.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, it's very unusual for the father of the groom to say a few words, but just in case Jonathan had to be absent, I was asked to say a few words. This is because there's always a chance that Sian was going to make Carol a grandmother before we got here. As John is here, however, you'll be glad to know that I've thrown half of my speech away. I should actually point out that I've been asked to speak on the prosecution of Andrew, and Andrew's brother will be speaking to represent the defence. Therefore, I put it to you, everybody, that Andrew is guilty. He is guilty of being a compassionate, caring, and loving son. And I'm sure he will go on to be a kind, compassionate and loving husband. Though he has a studious manner, he has a quick wit. He sets himself high standards and goals which he achieves. I confess his handwriting is terrible, but of course he is a doctor, so he can get away with that. Andrew has always been up for a good time. In fact, I remember when he went on a school trip to Spain, we had a phone call to say that there were girls in his room and he was selling alcohol.
Objection. Objection. There were no girls present and the booze was watered down. And if we were selling it, Andrew didn't see any of the money.
All right, objection sustained. As we can see, Andrew does have a very, very good taste. He likes to find things in life, and he has gone out of his way to achieve them. Now he has decided to settle down, and I'm certain that these two will complement each other. And as an aside, what I would say is that Lauren would put it, Andrew, you've got to do this. Andrew, you've got to do that. And that's quite complimentary in its own way. So I'm delighted to have another beautiful daughter and to welcome a third Mrs. Seggy into the family, which only leaves me to say that...
Hold on. I'm the best man. Stop hogging the limelight and sit down.
I've got another 3 pages here.
No, we'll come back to it. If we've got time. So I've got a few stories to tell. So there was a time Mum, Dad and Catherine went on holiday to France. And Andrew and I stayed at home. And Andrew decided that he'd host a house party. We did stay in the dining table and we did swing on the washing line. We probably drank too much as well.
Objection! Do you remember any of this? I don't remember of it. We've had no evidence of this.
Irrelevant. It happened. The point is, Andrew insisted...
You've managed to make this lie last for 10 years!
And now I'm outing him. No, look, the point is, Andrew insisted that we moved all of the breakable objects upstairs before any guests entered the house. And he enlisted the help of Sian's mum with the magic cleaning remedies to get rid of the stains on the table.
Point of order. I would like the prosecution calls Sheila Harris.
Overruled. We're here to examine the character of the groom, not his accomplices. Andrew is of a kind temperament, except for that time at primary school, year 1, I think it was. Andrew punched Becky Goad right in front of the teacher. And before he could get into any trouble, he ran away and hid. And when it came to the end of break time, he decided he'd line up in my queue to go back into class. And he told me to line up in his queue so that I'd get told off instead. Incidentally, he asked me to take his place today, but after 24 years, I've not forgotten that lesson. In all seriousness, though, Andrew is my best friend, and I'm so pleased he has found someone as lovely as Lauren to spend the rest of his life with. They bring out the best in each other. They're kind, caring, and motivated. They motivate each other to be the best that they can be. Lauren, I think everyone agree, you look absolutely stunning today. And we're so thankful that you are finally one of us. So can everyone raise a glass to Lauren? And don't put your glasses down just yet, because I'd also like you to raise them for the bridesmaids, Poppy, Catherine, Jenny, Lisa, and Sian. The bridesmaids. Now, it is traditional for the best man to give advice to the couple, so I would finally like to give one piece of advice to the bride and groom to support them in a long and happy marriage. It's that you should always double check who you're texting before you send the message and make sure that it is your wife. Now can everyone raise a glass to the newest Mr. and Mrs. Seggy? Now don't go anywhere, because we're going to go to the cutting of the cake, and then the married couple will take their first dance. So just don't go too far.